English is one of the most widely spoken languages in the world today, but it wasn't always this way. Its history is a fascinating story of migration, conquest, cultural exchange, and adaptation over more than 1,500 years. Before English existed, the British Isles were home to Celtic languages. These were spoken by various tribes, and remnants of them still survive today in languages like Welsh, Scottish, Gaelic, and Irish. In 43 AD, the Romans invaded Britain, bringing Latin. Latin was mainly used for administration, trade, and religion, but it left its mark in place names and some everyday words. Around the 5th century, after the fall of Roman rule, Britain faced new arrivals. Germanic tribes, the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes migrated from present-day Germany and Denmark. They brought their own languages, which blended together to form the earliest version of English, now known as Old English. Old English looked and sounded very different from what we speak today. While some words like house, water, and strong would be recognizable, much of the vocabulary, spelling, and grammar would seem foreign. In the late 8th and 9th centuries, Viking invasions brought another major influence, Old Norse. The Norse language contributed everyday words like sky, egg, knife, and window. It also influenced grammar, simplifying some of English's original complexity. Then came one of the most important events in English history, the Norman conquest of 1066. The Normans spoke a form of Old French, and for centuries after, French became the language of the royal court, law, and government. The working people still spoke English, but it absorbed thousands of French words, terms like court, justice, beauty, government, and language itself. By the 14th century, English had transformed into Middle English, the language of Geoffrey Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. This version of English had a rich vocabulary from Latin, French, and Norse influences, but pronunciation and spelling were still far from standardized. The next major shift came between the 15th and 18th centuries with the Great Vowel Shift. This was a dramatic change in how vowels were pronounced, which is one reason why English spelling and pronunciation can seem inconsistent today. The Renaissance also brought a flood of new vocabulary from Latin and Greek, especially in science, art, and philosophy. Words like architecture, physics, and democracy entered the language. The invention of the printing press in the late 1400s helped standardize spelling and grammar. Books became more widely available, and literacy rates slowly increased. During the Age of Exploration and the rise of the British Empire in the 17th and 19th centuries, English spread across the globe. Colonization and trade brought English into contact with countless languages, leading to loanwords from around the world: bungalow from Hindi, kangaroo from Gugu-Yimithir, tomato from Nahuatl, and robot from Czech. By the 20th century, English had solidified its role as a global language. The rise of the United States as an economic and cultural power, along with the spread of technology, movies, and the internet, cemented English's international influence. Today, English is spoken by over 1.5 billion people as a first or second language, but it is still evolving. New slang, internet terms, and cultural phrases are added every year. Words like selfie, blog, and hashtag didn't exist just a few decades ago. The history of English is a story of constant change, shaped by invasions, innovation, and interaction between cultures. Every word carries traces of this journey. From Celtic roots to a global bridge of communication, English has traveled far. And just like the people who speak it, it will keep changing, adapting, and growing for centuries to come. End screen, subscribe, like, and share reminder.